Hi, I'm Malak Fuad, and welcome again to What I Did Next, Encore, where I check in with some of your favorite alumni guests. I'm reconnecting today after 2 years with pioneering Arab designer Nadine Kanso, the founder of the jewellery brand BilArabi. She tells me about her recent collaborations, including her partnership with Berluti, and staying authentic in an online influencer-dominated world. We wrap up the Encore with our fun and popular lightning round. I hope you enjoy it. So tell me a little bit about what you've been doing since we last chatted about 2 years.
I mean, the last 2 years have been pretty productive. I've had a couple of big collabs, whether it be the Guerlain bottle, which is an archival bottle with the word al-hub on it. That is like their 170-year anniversary bottle. We've taken it recently to Saudi, and obviously it's put in the major cities and major places and all of that. It's a beautiful bottle. It has a special scent that they've created for this bottle that had cedar from Lebanon in it. I've also done the Berluti collaboration.
I saw
That's
that.
also pretty pretty nice collaboration. Beautiful people. Really, I'm very happy with these two collaborations. Even like getting
Yeah.
to know the other side of certain brands, getting to know their how they do things, how they work with their hands, how they create, and all of that. That has been really amazing.
And they're both very classic brands with a long history.
Exactly.
And the fact that they approached you, an Arab designer, is very interesting and very exciting and shows a real avant-gardenist way of thinking for them.
Exactly. The region is very important for everyone, and we have so much to offer. So why not? For the Guerlain, I was the
Absolutely.
first Arab designer to go into the archives for that bottle. With Berluti, it was actually probably the only woman after the designer, the founder herself,
Yeah.
as a woman
Yeah.
to come and do.
Was one of my father's favorite brands.
Yeah, I mean these are beautiful
Yeah. Cabinet
houses
brand.
of
Yeah.
fashion and perfume. They have a long legacy, and it's amazing.
Yeah. And what have you done on a more individual level under the Nadine Kanso name and the BilArabi name, separate from the collaborations?
The Berluti collaboration was actually with BilArabi. The Guerlain was under Nadine. Depending on the collaboration, this is where some people are more open to work with another brand on brand like Par, and others are are more focused on the designer, and then this is what they want.
Yeah.
In terms of obviously me, I'm trying to push as much on the business side, the BilArabi brand, and having it like not separated from me, because it's always going to be me and BilArabi.
Yeah.
But it's always good to kind of like, okay, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I have more than BilArabi to offer, other than the calligraphy, the photography, the design, and all of that. And for BilArabi, it's really the jewelry, and we're trying to expand the brand business wise in the region.
When we last chatted, Nadine, the majority of your work was focused on the BilArabi brand, and since then, you as a person, as an influencer, as a standalone brand, Nadine Kanso, have you become much more in the limelight, much more in the forefront. Is that a conscious thing, or has it just evolved that way? And how do you decide which emphasis to put on which side of yourself, actually?
Actually, it's always a combination, and certain things come free really from the way you feel about whether it's collaboration or going out to a certain place or engaging with someone. I've always tried to leave like BilArabi has its own page, and its very own aesthetics. And now, obviously, if you look at it, the last year it changed a lot. It's really focused on jewelry. You don't see me on that page more. For my page, it's more about me, my personal thinking, and what I stand for. Obviously, I do show what we have, like something new, my outings, my social kind of
Yeah.
thing. But it's always kind of I refrain from oversharing.
I'm curious, just on a personal note for myself, do you, is that instinctive for you, or
It is.
is it a
No, it
strategy?
is instinctive. And I think this is, the success of the brand, of who to work with or who not to work with, where to show, where not to show, has always been like kind of a gut feeling. Where do I want this to be? I'm not saying I want to be like on top of the world or whatever, but who I want to be associated with, who I want to be, sitting next to, who I'm not me as Nadine, but in terms of the brand. So when you have that kind of an like feeling for things, I think it translates, whether it's into your brand or obviously into your personal life and into who you are and who you act. People relate to people, and
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
always asked to share more, but I'm not that type of a person. I'm not always very I would say, I don't want to say eloquent, but I'm not a person who likes to talk a lot. I'd rather design, do my thing, let the product talk, let the project talk, let
Yes,
the
yes.
yeah. I don't want to be like singing to, I don't like to.
Yeah, 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 of course.
But unfortunately, or fortunately for some people, they like to know where you come from, how did you start, your storytelling, and obviously that translates into who you are, and like translate into your brand, into how people react with you, and this is how you actually get a lot of following.
Yeah,
So this is what
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
like people on Instagram, whether influencer, key opinion leaders, whatever you want to call them, they always try to share so people relate to them in a way or another. And this is how they gain engagement. This is how they gain, relate.
It's interesting, Nadine. I don't know if you're feeling it, but I'm noticing a bit of a backlash against influencers that are not authentic, and where you feel that they're only there to push brands. That's not the case with you at all, but there's a whole group of influencers, mainly, maybe it's more in the West than in the Middle East, that exist purely to push brands out. And there's a backlash happening to that.
I'm sure it will, because people don't want to see you like an advertising board. And if you really like the product and you talk about it genuinely, you really need to, like it. Or at least when you do, you have that page, you're going to say, listen, guys, I'm going to be receiving so many things and I'm being paid for these things. And this is what I'm going to be showing.
Yeah,
But if somebody tells me, Nadine, can you come to this dinner and can you post something? I'm more than happy to help and, and support. So it's
yeah,
relatively genuine. And
yes,
I get a lot of things my way. I never do that because I don't want to be like paid as an advertiser. I'm a designer at the end of
yeah,
the day. I
yeah.
happen to have an influence. Maybe it's a small one, but it's an effective one. And for me, it makes more sense than having more numbers. I mean, I've been on Instagram for so long, I only have 35K. So I don't care to have 100.
And it's genuine, it's actual people, and it's not fake, and you can feel
The
it. Yeah,
engagement
yeah,
rate is higher.
exactly. In the last couple of years, what would you consider to be your greatest achievement, or the thing that you've been the most proud of in the last couple of years?
I mean, the way I keep on like evolving, whether on the brand level or the personal level, if I can say that, is
Yeah.
something to be proud of. Is to still be present, is still to be relevant, uh, in a world that is moving so fast that sometimes you just get like gone with
Caught up in it.
and nobody cares.
Yeah,
And this is something I've been like throughout like the brand's life, 18 years, and I should say I'm very proud of that. Especially now,
yeah.
I'm growing the team. We're being uh, we're now present in Doha. We're present in Saudi. We're present in.
How big is your team now, Nadine?
We're still relatively a small team. We're like 6 people, so we're not a big team. We work with 3, 4
Yeah,
workshops. They have bigger teams, obviously, but
yeah, yeah, yeah. And in terms of the challenges of the last couple of years, what stands out for you? The last year has been challenging for people on an emotional level, on a personal level,
it
and I know for
it
you,
has, it has,
yeah,
and even like this morning when I opened the Instagram and I'm like, when are we gonna finish with all this, like mess that has been created?
Yeah.
And it's like a landslide, and my fear is like, I don't want to say I don't see hope, but not in the near future, and this gives me anxiety. This gives me, it weighs on my heart a lot,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
mean, we've lived throughout all our lives, at least me, and so many like me, whether in Lebanon, Palestine, Syria, Iraq, all the Levant, relatively has been
Yes.
in wars for 100 years, and it's a constant struggle. Even if you're far
Yeah.
away,
Yeah.
it's always it's always at home, you know.
Yeah, and there's this constant feeling of uncertainty all the time,
Yeah.
and there's never a sense of peace and true joy. It's never there. There's
How can
always a missing link there.
Malak, how can you joy when you open your Instagram and you see people killed for no reason,
Yeah,
just
of course,
because,
of course.
this
Yeah,
is how it should be, or people jailed, and the atrocities that we've seen, or any of that? I mean, why should people, go through all of this? Even if you are
yeah,
not in
yeah.
these jails, even if you're not being killed, but you cannot not feel with these people. These are, at the
That's
end of
right.
the day, your
That's right.
people. They're your neighbors at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. When you look back on your life so far and you think who was the most influential person for you, or a mentor that you remember thinking, oh, he was an important person, or she was an important person. I've asked that question a few times to the alumni guests, and I've realized that that's a question that changes with time. When you're 20, you might have felt that your mentor could have been a teacher or a parent, but maybe that's evolved with time.
For me, I never idealized like only one person, or it's like this is the, obviously you grow up and you grow older, your relationship, as you said, with people is different. And who do you share with
Yeah,
about love? Who do you share about friendship? Who do you share with about work? Who do you share about, being an influencer or being whatever? So
yeah.
everyone gives you something, and this is what I think, for me, is more important than having just one person to
Mm,
relate.
mm, mm. Yeah, yeah. If you were to redo your professional life and someone said to you, you can pick another profession other than the one you chose, what would you have picked?
Historian.
Really?
Yeah, this is what I want.
What kind of historian?
Listen, when I was much younger, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to study history, in general, like politics, obviously, and even like, about the Romans, because I come from Baalbek, and we have a lot of like,
But it's actually infused in your work because the idea of
uh,
heritage infuses
kind
BilArabi.
of, yeah, but maybe to
Yeah,
go more in depth in these things, or
yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
always good to know what was the past to understand how we got here. I'm not sure
Absolutely.
about the future, but
Well, you'd hope that by looking at the past, it can also help you
there
prevent repeating mistakes, but
I'm gonna
we so far haven't been
it.
doing that. We're not doing that yet. What is a typical day like for you now?
A typical day for me would be, now that I have a like more, like a stronger team and people that are obviously responsible, so I'm more flexible in my timing. But as well, because these people are, more solid, then I also need to be more around until they understand the business the way I would like them to deal with it. And also, I do spend a lot of time at work, but also I can spend a lot of time at home and work from home. um, I travel a lot. Maybe not the last year. Most of my travels have been more work related, like Bahrain Jewellery Fair, Kuwait activation, Saudi, all of that. So
Yeah. And your work, you say you have is it a studio? Do you all go? Do you have a certain amount of days per week you have to all be there? Or how does it work post COVID?
we're here all week. I believe in the, call me an old fashioned person. I believe that we should be in the office because I know that people can work from home and they will work well. But I think with a small team, when you bounce back ideas back and forth, you will benefit a lot. They will understand what you really want, at least like my vision for the brand. It's always good to share these ideas, to to discuss them. Somebody would throw something at you and it gives you an idea, and maybe you will develop on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that kind of a space is very important.
Yeah.
Today I'm taking this call and this meeting from the office, so we all share the office in
Yeah.
D3. It's very much like a house kind of a setup. uh, so it's
Yeah.
very relaxed. It's very chill.
And your design process, how has it evolved over time? Do you have input from some of your team, or are you still the primary designer?
I am the primary designer. They try to tell me
Yeah.
things, but that doesn't make me listen. And if you're listening,
You're still the
I'm
boss.
at least for design, yeah. But I mean numbers and all of that, and
Yeah.
breaking all the all these things.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have a great manager now, and his name is Martez, who joined a year and a half ago. My husband and my son, actually, both of them are more involved in the business now, which is something new, something different that at the time we did not discuss, or it
That's right.
actually on the table.
And in what capacity have they become more
So
involved?
basically, today when I have a manager, director for the brand, as a creative, I don't want to be managing that person on
Yeah.
the larger scale of the budgets, numbers, all of that. So this is where my son Amr and my husband Aziz come in, and this is where they have the discussion and share things,
Yeah.
because I don't understand much about it. I mean, I understand the gut feeling again.
If you have to get involved, you will, but you don't
I do
want.
want
Yeah.
to, and I want to keep
Yeah.
that creative space for me. And this is where hopefully
Absolutely.
within a year, I'll have even more of that to go back maybe to my photography. I have a couple of collaborations on the way for next year that I would like to really immerse myself into, like doing, and not like rush them, and take my time, and enjoy the process of design, and not feel like
Not feel like you're rushing
yeah,
everything. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I would like to have that space.
And can you share with us a little bit about what's coming up for you, the collaborations? Or are they in the jewelry space? Are they in the luxury space? Most of your
Luxury
work is in the
space,
luxury
and
space anyway.
and
Yeah.
one of them is a hotel. So I'm doing the China wear for them, which would be a great collaboration. And the people producing that will be actually Bernardo, which I've worked with them previously.
Wonderful.
So that's also like I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's a very simple design.
That's an exciting
But yeah,
sideline for you.
it's
Absolutely.
always nice to
Yeah.
to actually engage with these things. It gets you a little bit of your
Yeah.
own space.
Yeah.
I think when we spoke, we did not mention that we've opened our own store in store with Majid Al Futtaim in Mall of the Emirates.
You are in concept store,
Yes,
right?
that concept store.
Yeah, that concept store. I don't know if we had mentioned it last time,
Yeah,
but I've been to Dubai a couple of times and I've seen it. It's very nicely positioned and prominent, and it's
yeah,
is that the one outlet you have in
it's a
Dubai?
full fledged kind of like representation for the brand. It is, yeah.
Yeah. But I presume that the majority of your sales are still online, right?
Still online through Unas. They do super well. They're quite strong in the market, especially in the region. So very
Yeah.
quick in their deliveries. All of it.
I want to move in, Nadine, to that section I talked to you about, the quick fire
Yeah.
round. I don't want you to overthink it. I just want you to say what comes to your mind. I'm going to throw out some things to you and you just react, okay? So, high fashion or sweatpants?
High fashion.
Crowds or solitary pursuits?
Solitary pursuits.
In your creative mode, do you dream in Arabic or in English or in another language?
Arabic.
Collaborations or signature own brand?
That's a tough one, because I'm both actually. I'm known in the region for being like both, like strong in collaboration, and but
I think,
But I think
yeah,
BilArabi would have to come first.
yeah, I think without your signature brand, there would be no
Exactly.
collaboration. Yeah. What's your favorite activity?
Drinking champagne.
I love it. It's perfect for
Champagne
before
and
Christmas.
cigar. This is when I wind
Yeah,
down and just like
yeah, perfect. What's your least favorite activity?
least favorite activity.
Accounting.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an activity. It's commitment. I would say.
Like, give me something more sexy than accounting.
Uh, I mean, an activity should be always nice, you know.
It should be, but there are things you do that you don't like doing.
Definitely crunching numbers and looking at budgets. That definitely is not something I I look forward to.
Yeah, yeah. So the last 2 points are I'm going to begin a sentence and I want you to end it. I have a hard time.
Looking at painful images.
Yeah. I get joy from.
Love.
Perfect. That was my Encore catch up with Nadine Kanso. We'll continue this segment each month with more of the show's alumni, so stay tuned. If you haven't already done so, you can listen to my previous Encore conversations with Omar Samra, Nada Dibs, and Ahmed Alfi. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Malak Fuad, and the show is produced by Chirag Desai. You can watch all of our episodes on YouTube and connect with us on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and on X. I'll be back again next week with a new guest, galleryist and author Fatin Mustafa Kanafani. I hope you can join me then.